live on YouTube, waiting for YouTube to wake up, and it looks like they are waking up and they're awake. And now I'll send a little message out to Instagram and Facebook. These are through my accounts too, by the way. If you're looking to get the little notification, both are just Kurt Brugel, Instagram, and actually, I think it's Kurt Inker Brugel for the. What are you doing, man? All right, we're live, sir.
We're live.
Good morning.
Wow. Okay.
Good morning, Jake.
Good morning. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Making Turbo Pit Fighter. This is all about a sci-fi comic that we're making. This is our character here, Turbo. And this is her on the other side. Front cover, back cover of our Turbo teaser. We're right now about to start lettering an 11-page sequence that was penciled and inked by our friend Alex Turbin. And so I'm going to be putting in the lettering and the word balloons right on the art itself so that Kurt can then ink and tone it, shading and toning and grayscaling it. So welcome to another exciting episode of the process. When this podcast first started, I was penciling on one side and Kurt was inking on the other side, and we were making lots and lots of progress making these pages, which are right here. Look at all these pages that we have. This is the number of pages, and then we got to thinking, why don't we do some collabs with some other artists and creators? This way we can put out some of our prequel stories, and we can kind of define the world that Turbo comes from. And so we're doing just that, and it's expanding, but it's also kind of making us do a little detour on our production of Turbo pages. So we're loosely planning a 2026 or 7 release for Turbo Pit Fighter #1, but Doom Magazine's #1 is going to be coming out much sooner, and we're actually getting that together now, wrapping up the calendar year 2025 with as much production as we can to get a Ken Landgraf 6-pager together with the next 6 pages of Turbo Pit Fighter, together with 11 pages of the Secret Chronicles of the Duke, along with another 2-pager and a couple of cool zine pages thrown in. And it should be fun, but we got to do the grunt work now of doing the lettering on Alex Turbin's Duke pages. So I'm going to load up page 1, and then I'm going to start typing out the words in my new font, and we'll see how it looks. This is our first time using the new font. And Kurt, I did finish the page I was working on last week, which was a Turbo page. No, was a Ken Landgraf page that you had hand lettered. So I didn't want to waste that, so I just kind of put all the lettering in and just kind of fixed it up. So I think we have 2 pages of the Ken Landgraf finished now, 4 more to do.
Okay.
And we could also use this quicker process when we do that. So first thing I see is this stuff. So this is the finished artwork, but he has rough pencils here. Wait, you can't see what I'm saying. Let me center this thing. So the first thing I'm noticing is this up here. So on the, am I getting this right? On the final artwork, there is rough pencils of the word of the dialogue.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll just be cleaning that up. He kind of touching the artwork.
Well, so I took measures into my own hand, which was based on what I was going on about last week. And you can see here, I took page one, the
Uh-huh.
scan, I cut it out, and I did not blow up the original art, but it is on 13 by 19 paper. So it gives and affords us some breathing room and some like expansion um, on the art itself. Like I'm not predicting right now that I am going to basically just start at the left hand corner and just start doing my thing. I really look at Alex's layouts in exactly that. He's informing us, you and I, you being basically the script writer, and me being the finisher, in the flow of the story. Now, in the past, um, you're very detailed and methodical, and when you're given the second and third time around on something, you're noticing things and you speak out loud and you say, oh well, we could have done this or this could have happened. I would like today to get at least 3 pages, or a page and a page or two today, um, where we're looking critically at Alex's layouts, and then using what we have here to get the storytelling with the text placed in. If it has to be, the panels cut up, which Alex is totally cool with. I've talked to him about. So there's no harm or foul there. So then I can start prepping these pages by cutting up the pages and gluing them onto a 13 by 19, with the idea of knowing where the text is and what to expand upon.
Um, so I have the artwork here. What are we scanned at here?
400.
400 at what? 8.5, 11 or?
No, these are 11 by 14 ish. As the pages come to me, they're a bit longer. I think the last five,
Yeah,
6, and
11 by
7 are
14.
on
All right.
watercolor
Okay.
paper. Or
All
no,
right.
so yeah, 5, 6, and 7. So it's a little longer. So we also agreed, you and I, that the pages need to be formatted. All of the pages need to be formatted. Now, Ken's 11 by 17s are pretty much in the same slot, you know, width or height formatted to my 13 by 19 next turbo 6, and then eventually the Duke pages. So what I am anticipating is a lot of critical breakdown from not only you but me on the page, the art itself, like the flow, not the art itself, like, but the flow, and utilizing it and expanding upon it. So I'm going to have a lot of red ink and highlighter here, because I also do still have, I don't know what version of this, I had Post-its on here where there was a missing page 4. I don't know if that got, yeah, this is page 4. There was an extra page 11 added in. So I know that us doing this is really going to be the thing we always end up doing when we get to the lettering. So we're getting ahead of ourselves in a positive way.
So, um, right. So I want to make sure that I'm starting with the page format that matches. Now I see there's a lot of blank white margin on the sides.
Yeah, which you can go out to. That I would do anyways for my inking process. I'm just also going to create some gutter breathing by cutting the pages and separating them, placing them on a piece of 13 by 19.
Right. Like, and all right. So, and I also need to open up the script here so we can see what's going on. I guess I'll do that in this text edit. So here's the script, 10 pager. Page 1, large montage of the Duke. I didn't call for any title graphics, any kind of like chapter title or episode title or anything. So maybe that's something we have room for.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Yeah. So you want me to give you word balloons, but then you're going to play with all of the space on these floating margins later?
So my hypothesis is you're going to give me pages that have this text on them. I'm going to use that as map 1 layout. Like I'm even hoping that you'll help me cut these out and give some of that breathing space in the pages, and then I'll put those pages to me to then be able to template at least 11 by 17 format. And then from there, I'm going to then start doing my thing. But I still at least know that, there's a narration box here, a narration box here. There's going to be a title here.
Yeah, I mean,
yada, yada.
we could also put a title on the second page if we want, and just make this kind of like a lead in. But
Yeah.
I do see. So, am I looking at the boundaries of the paper trim here, or am I looking at the boundaries of the live art? And there's paper trim beyond that.
I just scanned the live art. So you have right now an 11 by 14. Yeah, 14. You have an 11 by 14 piece of artwork.
11 by 14.
Yep.
That's not the right proportion, right?
Correct. So we have to add 3 more inches.
Right. Well, why aren't I doing that here right now?
I'm asking you.
Okay.
As I've said, you have a very critical editor's eye every time you scan work and you make vocal. You could do this or less this. We could this, blah blah blah. So I would love to get all of that as much as I can out of you per page. So then when I sit down and do the work, there'll be no to very very little edits on my side.
Okay. So I'm
Getting things
changing
together.
this from 11 by 14 to 11 by 17.
I would yes ask you
Okay.
to do that, and then because there is so much still margin on the outsides that I can still work out. But if you can get, I just hate to see text and narration boxes just hammered over the top of art, and especially if I'm going to spend time working on these pages, I just don't want all of a sudden, oh, well, we've got to like, bam, knock out this section here because we need this block of text.
Right. So in order to do this, we're going to be upsampling the art, which will degrade it ever so slightly. So maybe we don't want to do that. Maybe we want to go down to this would be 366. Let's say 350 DPI.
Well, it's not going to print. This is not going to print. This is going to go to me so I can use it as a template to glue stuff down on my 13 by 19.
To glue stuff down?
I'm cutting up these pages. You're going to cut them up, but I'm going to cut up the pages physically and glue them down.
So I'm not doing it. You're doing it.
No, you're doing it because you have to have the space to work out the storytelling and the lettering.
Right, but I have the finished art, and I'm adding the word balloons permanently to the finished art, and then you're going to be taking that and grayscaling it, right? Or am I missing something? I think you're saying you're going to be doing some other kind of jiggering besides that.
So let's just start at one. Point
Yeah,
one is that these are not formatted to 11 by 17. The
right.
only way you're going to get them formatted to 11 by 17 is by cutting up the panels.
Right, which you said I'm doing right here, right now.
Correct. Then you're
Right.
going to be able to have enough room to put in text, sound effects, and narration. And then that page will get printed out to me. And then I will then actually physically deal with the artwork and inking it, get it back to you, and then you'll be able to slide it right in, and the text and sound effects will be sitting right there.
So, right. So you're printing out because then you're going to create an original. That's a
Create
big
an original piece of art. Correct. I
that's
don't
big.
want to just scan his work and then manipulate. I want to actually, that was my thing from the beginning, is I wanted to work on somebody else's physical
Okay.
pages.
Right. So right now the first step is prepping these pages by making them the right format. And we have to also make sure that Alex has the correct format going forward whenever we do some pages from here on, so that we can skip this step, right? So that
Did you
we
hear
can,
us, Alex? Alex, 11 by 17 moving forward.
well, yeah, standard comic format, right?
But
Which is
Alex is a rogue, man. That's what he is. He's hammering
well,
out random access monthly. So, no time for that tomfoolery.
yeah, I know. So well, we're getting some stuff here. All right, so I'm going. Excuse me. I'm going to create a new size here. Make the image size, and excuse me. In order not to upsample the line art, I'm gonna have to reduce the resolution.
Yeah, that's fine. I just need
Now,
to know where everything is. I just want both of us to agree the
did he
final
give you?
composition of the page is agreed upon between you and I, and then I can go from there.
Did he give you? Um, he gave you original artboards.
Yeah.
Okay, so then there was a possibility of you just gray toning on. Sorry, my voice is not playing nice. Um, there is a possibility of you just gray toning right on his artboards, right, and saving a generation of scanning and printing out.
I'm cutting up his art and gluing it down on a new piece of paper to be able to expand the art itself.
But if you did the gray toning and then did that, we could
So,
save a
so
generation.
Jake, the number one issue right now still stands that this is not formatted to 11 by 17. That's the thing we have to solve right here and now. So there's nothing else to worry about other than how are we going to approach taking 11 by 14 and making it into 11 by 17. My approach would be to cut these three panels apart and then shift them into a 11 by 17 space, which I have done here on a 13 by 19.
What'd you do that for?
As an example, just to
Okay.
give you and our gracious audience some comprehension. This would be, like I said, this would be my approach. I'm not trying to force or dictate this to you. You might have a different way of taking a 11 by 14 3-panel page and expanding it to 11 by 17.
Well, I just changed the document here from 11 by whatever to 11 by 17 at 363 dpi, and this did not upsample or downsample. It just kept the artwork at exactly the size it was scanned at. And now I'm floating it here. I still have enough space all around, I am going to the edge, so this might be more of a full bleed, but it's all fitting in here without
So
degrading it.
you've actually set up a document at 11 by 17, dropped Alex's art in as a scan, and now you're cropping from the basic margins on the left and right.
Yep, I just picked up exactly what he had at the size it was. I changed the document from 11 by 14 to 11 by 17. The resolution went slightly down, but we're still well over 300. We're at 363 DPI, which is the random number that kept the file size exactly the same. So that means we're not going to have to upsample the artwork at all. It's just going to be the exact same size it was.
Taking a break to cough.
Yes, I did.
Do you have some like hot tea near you?
I do.
Good.
I was drinking that. So I can freely move these things around here on my end, and so that everything is going to be touching the corners. Like we're a little short here, left and right, but we could either horizontally scale that, no one will notice, or we can extend the artwork like I used to do with Valiant. So here's something weird. He kind of like has this edge here of the background, but then he goes over it with this fix.
Yeah.
So
you got a lot of that. You've got a lot of that.
I don't want to lose this, but
right.
So maybe we draw a panel border there, and then hit, so this way we can the fist can go beyond that.
Yeah, that can happen. Yeah, that can happen.
Yeah, so we're doing all this kind of stuff. All right, great. We have a lot of so this might be so on this page. This would not be very tricky because I can move this stuff down. We could actually have a huge title up at the top. Yeah, you can see the whole thing. Look, we could actually have a huge title right at the top.
But the only thing is, Jake, is that moving forward, every page is going to have that 3-inch gap.
I know.
You see what I mean? Like just accommodating that 3-inch gap now for a masthead is not going to keep the consistency if we're breaking the panels up in order to help, not only the continuity of the page, but the entirety of the story.
Well, we're going to have to go page by page on this because the art was turned in and we don't want anyone to redo the art. We can work with it. But
no, it's great. It's trust me, I love this kind of stuff. Right. I'm just working, we're working in tandem in order to hopefully get to the same arrival. I'm just speaking out loud saying that most of my experience with you, there's an editorial base that comes in later. I'm hoping we can get a lot of your editorial base before we set off getting these pages concluded, because I know once you start laying in the text blocks and the sound effects and everything, there's going to be suggestions, and I just want to be present with you in order to receive them and then be able to accommodate it in my head before I have to sit down and start doing what I got to do and will do.
All right, well, let's start working these pages. All right. Okay. So I think my first step, so I just went from that small to that big, and the art could be that much bigger. There is a slight upsample, but I'm not going to complain about that. Yeah, I would probably move this. I mean, it looks like we're gonna. Well, let's put the word balloons in, and then I'll start ripping the art apart, and then I would love to put a chapter title up here or a series title up here. That would be great. So for this page, I don't think it's going to be too tough. I could also clone stuff if we want to extend the sides. I could draw onto the sides, or we could make a line here. So we have a lot of options. Yep. All right, so let's So this is going to be the background, and this right. So I can flatten this, flatten flatten merge visible, I guess. And now I have a layer above where we're going to get our word balloons. It wasn't just because they killed his brother. And let's see what happens. Oh, here's a $64,000 question. Is the font loaded? Doom Comic New, because it wouldn't load in Photoshop.
Last week. I just realized the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still not seeing it for some reason.
And you've reboot the system?
Yeah, and so this is what I had for the first iteration. It wasn't. So I know the new font is a little bit thicker. So we have to figure out why.
Still does some justice there.
I mean, we have a lot of alternate characters and everything. Let me see what happens in this little text edit program if I try to change the font. Do they have it?
Like an import?
Well, I did what you're supposed to do. You import it into Fontbook, and then it should give it. So now let's see. Doom Comic New starts with a D. Yeah, Doom Mag's new font. It's called.
Ah.
So this is what it looks like here. So worst comes to worst, I could cut and paste it from a different program, but it's working fine in here. It's not working fine in Photoshop. Why is it not coming up? Doom Mags.
Oh, go all the way to the bottom tray. When I've made fonts, if you go all the way to the bottom of your font tray, sometimes it just sits down at the bottom.
Oh, you're right about that.
Cool. That just and because I've actually gotten a hold of other like fonts from online that other people have made, and that same thing happened. So, and that's even with my PC version of Photoshop 7.
Okay. So let's go a little smaller. And yeah, the problem is I don't want to be doing this in Photoshop. I want to be doing this in Quark. That's the problem.
Can you and you can still cut you can basically just keep bringing in the same whole page and then separate, and then basically have blocks of each of the panels to be able to float the panels around.
Right, I export it as an EPS, yeah. So I'm going to delete this layer, and yeah, so I'm gonna just have to save this as a JPEG, and this is going to be the first one. So yeah, I'm just writing over it. I just hit save. I wrote over the old thing. So this is the new size. We're going to be opening up Quark down here. So Kurt, you had a busy week.
Oh yeah.
And you were sending Crom off to the printer?
I should be getting the artist proof tomorrow, which will be Monday the 10th, which, just so everybody knows, if that happens, these mock-up copies will no longer be available. I have sold 11 of them, so that means there'll be 11 plus the 2 that I have in-house. That's 13 of these that will be out in the wild. This is the biggest announcement. I have 2 huge announcements when it comes to Crom Anthology #1. The first thing is it's 258 pages. 60 of them are double pages for an artist gallery. 2/3 of that artist gallery is, I believe, almost everybody who is involved in the Brutal Blade of Crom. That Crom crew, headed up by project lead Jamie Barrows. Super excited about that. But the most important thing is if you want a steep discount on the pre-ordering for the week that'll come out before I release this. You have to go to cromthebarbarian.com and you have to get on the mailing list. If you're having problems getting on the mailing list, email me at kurt@cromthebarbarian.com and we'll work it out. I will be emailing multiple times with the code, the coupon code, in order to get the steep discount on the pre-ordering for Crom Anthology #1, which will be roughly, I'm hoping to give about 5 days for the pre-ordering because I'm looking for a very specific date, about 2 weeks from now, maybe even, no, actually, yeah, 2 weeks from now, going live for the release, which will have a little bit of a discount on the books, but there'll be a cover price that will be moving forward from there. But 258 pages, black and white. It's really super exciting. I'm really
for me. So how much of this is new original material versus reprints?
Oh, the reprint part is only like I think there's only 3 stories in there that I've accommodated material, and I'm reprinting it. It's 20 stories. 4 of them I'm involved. 3 of them I'm entirely involved in. One of them I am a co-writer and inker on, and the 5th one I am just an inker on. And then it is other people's, other creators' material, Crom material, as well as I think it's all Crom material. Yeah. So it's I'm pretty darn excited. Is what?
What's the short answer? How much of this is new material? How much of it is reprinted?
Gosh, like 95% of it is new material.
Wow. And,
yeah.
So this is a Crompendium from the community of partners in Crom.
Yes.
All right.
And yesterday I finished all of my 30 thumbnails, the spot illustrations for a story called Crom of Clarn, which is 2 of 3 stories that I am taking from Gardner Francis Fox's pulp times in the late 40s that he worked with Planet Stories and converting these into Crom Sword and Sorcery stories. So really, I saved the best for last in me working, which I love doing spot illustrations. And these are 7x7. They get shot down to 3.5. So they get about half the size. So they tighten up real nice. Right now I'm going through and editing and getting the text, these inserted into the text. So super excited. So I have no art to do pretty much for the rest of the year, other than all the marketing and fulfillment for the release of Crom Anthology #1. And I have to say, too, to toot my horn a little bit louder, there's a lot of material that I'm adding to from my Crom 2024 collection. So I'm very proud of the fact that I'm keeping, and I explain this in the forewords that I wrote in Crom Anthology, and I do a better job in writing it in that explanation than I am going to probably do right now. But, the whole base of cromthebarbarian.com and the community is to give people a safe place to create a already established public domain character that I do not control. I only control my stuff. And what I'm, the legal part of it. But for the most part, it is just, there's so much material for people to just jump in and grab stuff and start making your own. And on top of it, Jamie Barrows and the Crom crew from Brutal Blade, we're already starting to talk about making some heavier collaborations between the 2 of us as groups, and it's really exciting. And the other thing as well is I already have work lined up and set up in production for Crumb #2, Crumb Anthology #2. And it's really really exciting. It's all coming together finally. So there's the teaser. Thank you for getting. So the next week I will be showing off that 258 pages with my full color cover, painted in paint markers and color pencils. It was 17 by 29. Oh man, it's quite the feeling right now.
Oh, what a feeling to drive Toyota. So yeah, that's a great update. I know you were busy on that project. So I have in that whole speech, I have opened up Clark. I imported the 11 by 17 page. You can see it here. And I started typing out the word balloons. And so this is the premiere of the new font. And what are you thinking? It's kind of not comic booky to me. I'm thinking, but
I agree.
Is
It's a
that
good
going
start,
to be
though.
is that going to be okay?
We're gonna find out. I mean, you really can't tell until you go to print. You know what I mean? I mean, you can like get to a point and see it all, but you know, I just think it definitely has moved from my hand lettering style, if that's really an appropriate way to describe the way I hand letter,
Uh-huh.
which I feel is a very comic book friendly work on the eyes. And one of the reasons, though, is just because each letter is uniquely its own. It's not a uniform set of letters making the text. And that's what we're going to have to constantly be working on in perfecting this turbo font. You know, it's just really getting the nuances of something that feels way more hand lettered than just you know, a font that looks comic booky.
Right.
It's a challenge.
Yeah. But all right. Well. Let's definitely use it for this, and then we'll see. I might adjust the font or change it or make a new one, or we'll see. It took a long time, but we're definitely using it for this.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, all right. So now we got to try and make heads or tails of this. Is so Alex is kind of moving some of the panels around from page to page, right? Because this isn't following the script right off the
Yeah,
bat.
because then it does say here, panel 2, Duke blasts 2 goons from a narrow tunnel. Drones hover around behind him. So that's kind of like what's happening. You know, this entire panel is really the page 1, isn't it? I think we had this conversation before. Duke blasts a huge combat bots power supply, parts fly everywhere. So, but that's this panel.
Well, let's look at page 2 and see what's going on. Because yeah, I think he moves stuff around. Let's see. On page 2, there's an explosion in the tunnel, and he's advancing, and then he's confronting the character. So let's see. Explosion. Page. All right. So. He might have asked me at some point, and I
said, when we had him on, which we're going to have him on either next week or the following week. It was discussed. We're aware of it. It's not a surprise.
Yeah, I know. It just I don't remember now. So he's introducing the whole like support team right off the bat.
That's the second panel here, right?
Yeah, I'm just looking for where I had that, where you could see, because I didn't even know we were going to be showing the mink at all in this. I guess we are. So, and we just had her on like on in the dialogue. Oh, here, page 5. In Brady Bunch boxes, we see Renzo, Dronesmith, Atisha, and the mink wearing headsets and operating joysticks and input screens. So this the first time we get a look at the team, it's page 5. So I don't have page 5. Can you open up page 5 and show
Yeah,
me what's going on?
bringing 5 out. Here's page 5.
So he does show them again there.
Yeah, because it says Renzo, Dronesmith,
Right.
Tisha, and then I don't know who the fourth person
All right,
is.
so we're just
Three
gonna
mink.
we're just gonna have to introduce him here in panel 2, and we're gonna I guess this would be a good place to move the text up, put some dialogue balloons in, and explain what he's saying.
So just I got to jump in here for a second. So you have in page 1, panel 1, there's a ending here. It says other possible characters for the montage: the Dronesmith, the mink in silhouette, Atisha, Bevins, Renzo was in combat bots. So are you saying you think this is the mink?
Oh, that's that's the mink for sure. Yeah. So
Why do you say that? What is making you say that?
because she wears a headdress. Atisha Bibbins is black.
This character right here is wearing a headdress. This just looks like a dude's silhouetted.
Yeah, so I think he put the characters in the second panel instead.
Oh, 1, 2, 3. This is what you're saying, and then
that's the Dronesmith, the mink, and Renzo, the brother. But he didn't draw Atisha.
Okay.
So now, since they're below, we have to explain that. If he's talking to them, great. We could just add the dialogue, and this is easy. I'm just trying to gather together.
Well, this is why my theory from the beginning is supporting is cutting up the panels. So right here you can see.
Yeah.
You have now we have this space in here to do something. And if I'm instructed by you giving me some sort of doodle sketch or something like that to add, something in their effect or, a set of eyes, whatever, then, it can happen now instead of later, in the layout, which is super cool. It's super cool.
First, let's put in what was in the script, and then we will add whatever was not in the script.
Awesome.
So, in the bottom of panel 3, it says, and a big 906 on the right. So let's find that where that was in the actual scripts. All right, so he's taking from panel 2 and he's putting that in panel 3. So he basically just inserted panel 2 as like an extension of the montage. And I said to straddle panel gutter, but he put it on the bottom. So let's
what are you saying? Are you saying that you wanted the text to run like this in the gutter?
Yeah, when I say straddle the panel, that means it's halfway between one panel and the other, and it serves as as it's like a transition and to bring you.
So it is its own. It is its own panel.
When it says straddle the panel border, that means it's halfway in between the panel on the left and the panel on the right, and it serves as kind of like a transitionary text to guide your reading and your eye from one panel to the next.
So lay that text in and show me what you mean.
But he put it over here. Oh yeah, maybe it can straddle actually a little bit.
Because you can, like I said, I can cut the cut
Right.
that apart. We can
So
do that right now.
one big issue here is how big am I making this text?
22-ish points.
22.
If you're at 21, 22 at 11 by 17 is always what I do. I do 24 point for my 13 by 19. That means when it shrinks down above 11 points and somewhere under 12 points.
All right, well, let's try making it 20 and see what that looks like. This is 20. It looks way too huge. So I think because my font is designed the way it is, it's very blocky. I think that's going to be too big. I mean, it looks like
the font is going to be too big.
I made this font really bold. Yeah, it's really bold.
Yeah.
So now I just reduce it to like 16, and it still looks ginormous.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're learning. We're learning, people.
Yeah,
it's not all magic.
When they give you a space to draw the letter, most people use like half of the space to draw the letter, and I used probably the whole thing to draw the letter. And they do that because they want everything to be to fit accents above it and percentage signs.
Yeah.
So we can't really go by point. We have to go by, whatever. I think we'll start out with 15, and I'm gonna make a note here. Trying 15 points so that we can carry this on from document to document. And so we'll go 15 point here, and it's still plenty big. And then down here, we'll go 15 point. So, and we have to suck up some of this line spacing. This means you're in the belly of the beast. Right, so this looks like it could fit like right over here. And yeah, so that was weird. He gave me this artwork, and then he gave his handwritten text as if that was going to be the final size. So now
I think of it more as placement. I do the same thing.
Right, but the actual text typed out on the font isn't going to be that exact look.
No, but it's. I mean, he's not like, for instance, it's over the top of that hand. He's just saying out loud, I'm not going to draw this whole hand in because you're going to cover it with text. I mean, at least he's been gracious. He's been gracious enough to basically give us a generality of, placement for text. But, you could still change
now that
your
we're
mind.
doing the final text. Yeah, but now that we're doing like usually when you do that, you really underestimate the size of the text because you never know how
your handwriting. Your handwriting, like because you're handwriting at your normal visual on 11 by 17 piece of paper. So then when it gets shot down, it's like half. It's just itsy bitsy.
Right now,
but it's still good placement.
Now here, this is kind of weird. He wrote Duke : you gonna seal the tunnel behind me. So that should have been closer to him so we could draw the tail of the word balloon close to the Duke. But he wrote literally from the script, Duke : you're gonna seal the tunnel behind me. But Duke's up here.
But I would suggest then moving it to the gutter above.
Of course. Yeah.
Nice. And then you can cut. You got to cut that panel out now.
Well, now we have to extend the artwork here that's missing. Or we could.
I can do that. I can do that.
We could do that, or I can make a big sound effect there. There's a million ways to solve
exactly.
So I'm going to. So right now I'm going to go back into Photoshop, and I'm going to start because we can definitely use some space here in between the top montage and the bottom two panels.
Right.
And so I know we have a lot of space for that title graphic above, but we're going to steal some of it right now and move all this stuff up. And so I'm going to have to carefully lasso right here because I don't want to mess anything up. But yeah, this is gonna be fun to do. Let me get closer here. This is the key to move this up and not touch any of this stuff because they just kind of run together. A montage across two panels. I told Alex, I said, I think you made the first montage that has the sequential, you know, instances of the person in the same montage. You know what I mean? You know, like a lot of times in comics, you see like Daredevil like flipping.
Yes, yeah, we talked about that.
Jumping over the Kingpin, and you see like 5 Daredevils right in the panel. So that's like a motion sequence, right?
Yeah, because you have 4 Dukes. You have 4 Dukes, which I would also say, you know, this is also where that top part of the page, you could add some nifty little text alluding to the motion of the Dukes fighting, you know, on his own, multiple assailants, you know, something along that line.
I would
just to give that prep.
You mean some kind of description about?
Yeah, I mean, like description's one way of saying it, but like something that basically notes the reader that this is a montage of all of the action that is, basically he's just kicking ass. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we're just seeing these multiple angles of him kicking ass.
We had this happen with Ken Landgraf. What we did was
it happens with the best of them. We're learning, Jake.
Yeah. Well, what we did with Ken was we just kind of grade back some of them. So.
Yeah.
Right. So that would be a good little thing to do here again. Let's see.
But you'll need my final art to be able to make that. I mean, I can actually try to do some of that in my. Yeah.
Right, that's your first note to self here is you could be doing that to make the Dukes kind of ghosted back or some kind of difference in their heavy weight, their weight, so that people could understand. Like he went from here to here. Like you could bring a lot of cohesion to this by just picking one of them to be the dark one of them to be the medium one, and one of them to be the light one, and then the eye will go from one to the other. Yeah. All right, and now I'm picking up the artwork, moving way up. So we'll have some space there for Duke to be saying what he says. Some separation here. I think that's good. Right there. And now I'm going to hit save and bring it back into Quark. We'll note the changes that are made. I'd like to make this a different color in Quark, so you can't do that with a JPEG. I don't think, unless it's line art, you can't do it that way. But all right, so now it's updated. So I hit update in Quark, and it's gonna pop up. So this is before and after, right here. So Kurt, yesterday I did the WFMU record fair, which I do every year, and had a really good day selling records. But I brought a box of comics. And I sold a bunch of comics, but then, when you go walk around to all the other tables and see what other people have, so somebody else had some comics, and my big thing at the record fair is trying not to bring back more than I left with. And I was really good about that with records because I only bought one record the whole day. And that's amazing for me. I bought the Best of the Midnighters on Norton Records. I can't wait to listen to that. But here's what I picked up. So this is just a micro haul. Here's what I picked up from this vendor that had a box of comics, and they had pretty good prices. They had a big run of Superboy, which I don't care about, but I got this for
Nice.
$2, and I didn't have this one before. At least I don't think I do. So this is PC Comics, Jack Kirby. I got this, which I didn't have. Eclipse Comics. This was only $2. Saber, right? Featuring Paul Galassi, and I forget who wrote it. It might be Don McGregor, I think, that writes this. And it was like a cool character that looked like Jimi Hendrix, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if this cover is Paul Galassi. Actually, I don't even know if Paul Galassi's in this comic. This is number. It's the number's covered up here by the price. I got this.
Nice.
25-cent Warlock number 12. Jim Starlin. Jim Starlin's on the cover. I imagine he's on the inside. I got this.
Nice. That's a great comic. I love that one.
Yeah, so this is some kind of like futuristic Viking with a superhero lady fighting in a futuristic land, and 1981 art by Gene Day.
Yep.
And this is Blood. It says right here, real small, Blood is copyright and trademark 1981 J. Wally / controlled. I can't read that. It looks like 01, 05. I don't know, some number. I don't know. That was a very weird note. So can't wait to look at this. Open this up. That was $3. Look at this piece.
Whoa. I've never seen that before.
I know. We're gonna have a dandy time going over this. And it's credited to Craig, which sounds familiar. I think this guy worked in the bigs eventually. But it looks very indie. Fantastic first issue, and no company name on the cover.
Wow.
35 cents. 1979. Color cover. Grayson Monarch number 1. What the hell is this?
That looks cool.
All right, and then finally,
yeah, Thungor.
So this was a cover that I kind of like clipped just to keep in my collection. But
that's a Jim Steranko.
That's exactly right. That's a Steranko cover. Steranko says right there, cover, and Val Mayrick inside.
Yeah.
So Creatures on the Loose number 22, featuring Thongor, warrior of Lost Lemuria, from the House of Ideas that gave you Conan and Co. First time in comic book form. So you got to take with the good with the bad. This is the Demon of Zangabao with a 3-headed snake down there, and all this great stuff. But when that's the good news. The bad news is, you know that feeling when you put a box of comics out and you didn't really inspect what was in there before it hits the public. And so the first time you're realizing that that comic was in that box is when somebody's trying to buy it off you.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to say, "Oh, that shouldn't have been in there," and that's wrong. That price is marked wrong. Instead of doing that, I was like, "Oh, I shouldn't." All right, your win, my law. But I had a 20-cent Submariner, or maybe a 15-cent Submariner in there in tip-top condition for $5, which I think I bought it at that price, but I never got to look at it, and I would have increased the price had I known. Somebody bought it. Somebody spotted it right away and bought it.
Yep.
So that went out the door before I could even do anything about it. And I also had in the box a cull that had John Buscema art, a 25-cent cull that had John Buscema art inside. And I let that go. You know, I gave it to him for like $2 or something. But I was like, I shouldn't have been in the box. It should have been in my stash. see that the growth, we live and learn. We have to adjust. All right, so just finishing this one off. It was so this can move up again, right here. This can move to the side again, and we could make this skinnier if we wanted to, like this. I think we're gonna end up doing that. And then down here, now we have space. He can say, you're gonna seal the tunnel behind me, and it could be coming from him. And I don't know if we should make it the whole length like that. We could. That will kind of fill that space pretty well. And then drone Smitty, 2 around the corner. So I don't know where he got that from, but it sounds like it makes sense. So the drone smith is here. Oh wait, who's this? Actually, I didn't take a good look, but this is this Renzo or the drone smith? I gotta look at my I guess this is a female here, right? Up in the middle. So that's Atisha, and this is the drone smith. Well, let's write 2 around the corner. You got 2 around the corner. We'll say Duke. You got 2 around the corner. All right. Dot, dot, dot. Now, maybe these guys need to be saying something to check in with him as well. This art is great. So maybe we'll add got it so he can do a call and response on it. You're going to seal the tunnel behind me. So now we're in 2 lines for sure. Like that. And we'll move it over a little bit. Yeah, this font is going to be very unusual for comics, I think. It's a good font with like very bold letters, readable, but you know, comic font is supposed to look like whiz bang, I think. You know.
Well, being a thinner line is more advantageous to just reading instead of being, the kind of bold impact I think
well, we are gonna
right now.
We are gonna gray it back. I'm gonna gray it back right now so that it becomes part of the fabric of the art.
Right.
I like how that worked out. I think I did like an 80% gray in the Ken Landgraf pages for the text, but you could go all the way down to 60. Really, it depends on the page how it looks, how it'll look the best. But I don't know. We can't just not explain who these people are, right?
Yeah, that is definitely where we need to use the breaking up of the panels and spreading them apart in order to create some flow, some consistency and flow, not so much guessing work.
Yeah, these are definitely big for for 15 points. You know, maybe we need to shrink it even more.
Yeah, you just got to be careful though, because you're at 11 by 17 that gets shot down to even smaller than 8.5 by 11. I mean, I'll go from 17 high to 11 high. So you're going to lose a lot of. You could lose twice as much of the point size. If you're at 15 or 16, you could ultimately go down to 8, and then what'll happen is that that font is just going to read like a big black line.
I'm not going down that much, and even at I don't think the point size makes any difference in our calculations, because I drew this really big inside the box provided for each letter. So I don't think professionals do that. I think they use a lot smaller, a lot less of the space. If Alex's handwritten letters are any guide, I'm much bigger than them at 50.
Yeah, but that's handwritten at something that would probably be printed at 8.5 by 11 for legibility. This page, I mean, I'm barely able to read this here because this is shot down to 8.5 by 11. It's too small for me.
Right. Well, I'm about, let's see. Yeah, I'm about 25% taller than his anyway. So we'll go down the line and see.
We'll see. We're gonna find out.
I'm gonna keep the part file handy.
So we got a time check. It's 11:10. All this fun is really definitely eating up our time, because today we have our last interview for the year, which is, grabbing the book right now. This is pretty exciting for a last interview. It is with Tom Pescatore and Loco Gonzalez, who we've had on before, Junction Jones. And this was pretty stellar interview. I'm trying to remember which one it was. It was in the 30s, I think. But these guys since then have now their first trade. And man, I've been reading this. The first thing I'm going to say to them is they really nailed the concept of graphic novel. I mean, they really nail it. So this is going to be, we got to record that at 11:30. Loco Gonzalez is going to be with us from Argentina. So the four of us are going to have probably a greater time together than we had the last time. So we just need to start wrapping up so we can prepare for this interview. But I definitely think we've made some good headway. Boots on the ground running.
Yeah, we finished this first page of laying in the text that was in the script anyway. We just need to revisit it and add some more text for these since these characters are appearing to make them say some stuff, so they can be like, dude, be careful on your left, whatever. And so the people will be like, oh, who's that character? Oh, who's that character? There's some supporting characters here. Right. And I got to watch out. I have some T-bar eyes. I have some, what do you call the eyes when they have the two crossbars? I have a couple of those that are up.
Bridge.
If I'm not careful. Well, they look like girders to me, but
yeah.
Roman
numeral 2.
Let's save every once in a while. Don't you think that would be a good idea? Where does this go? This goes in art and do mags #1 and Alex's Duke pages. So this is called Quark Doc. Alex Duke 11 pager. All right. Yeah, so I can import 3 pages, and now you have scans for the other.
Yeah, I'll get you the other ones. I have up to 7. I believe
Oh,
this week we'll be getting the last of those pages, so up to 11.
okay. All right. Well, these first 3 are going to take me a while anyway, so no worries. But yeah, moving stuff around for sure. I
For
think I'm gonna
sure.
draw a panel border here. I could do that in Photoshop. Yeah, I'm gonna draw a panel border around the panels, except for this one maybe. But yeah, we're definitely working this.
All right, it's we got 1 minute. Let's tie it up and let's get ready for our last recording of an interview with some amazing indie creators.
That means, folks, you're gonna be treated to at least 4 or maybe 5 comics that influence flip through before.
We'll see. We'll see. We've got a lot of work to do, my friend. We might be just running some 3-hour lives
marathon,
to just
lettering
I apologize if I'm upsetting you, but we definitely need to push. We need to get ourselves out to an agreed space in the next 4 weeks. So if we're where I hope we can get to in 4 weeks, then there's no problem in us setting up some time to do that. But all hands on deck for Doom Magazine's #1 End of the World Anthology. Release early next year.
Yeah. You heard it, folks. You said it. From your mouth to God's ears. So are we wrapping up this minute?
We are.
All right,
I
folks.
will.
Thanks for tuning in to the progress, the lightning quick progress that we're making. You can check out our episode again next week, 10 o'clock Eastern time, right here on our YouTube landing page. And you can see our interviews, the Indie Creator Exchange, posted on our channel. Also, don't forget to check out our vaunted flip throughs on the Comics That Influence channel. We're also on social media. You can check in anytime during the week with Doom at Doom Mags on Instagram, doommags.com, Doom Mags on Substack.
See you next Sunday, Jake.